That explains where we're at. Mr. Reichert did say he hopes to get out of the financial problems. He doesn't want to complete the project. He doesn't want to pay the subs or suppliers. How he does that, I don't know, but that's what he said.
Has he done the crack seal yet?
He has done the crack seal on Cherry from the beginning of the project up to Reedley.
And that's where the big machines are parked.
Machines are. If you want me to talk about that right now, I can, because I've been trying to get a hold of Mr. Reichert. He said he's been out of range, mobile phone. Okay. And I did email him as well, and I did get an email back tonight because one of the questions I've asked is, hey, we'd really like to get the roadway open if for some, you're not in here, you know, and I have no idea when you'll be back in here. He did email me back tonight and say that tomorrow he'll be out there to move the equipment, so Thursday the roadway should be open.
And it will be sealed?
No, it won't be sealed, but I'm willing to take that chance now. The only thing that would hurt us with it not being sealed is if we had to salt.
Now, if we had to salt, could we then just use a power washer, wash out the cracks before we seal it?
What we hope for is that we get a nice rain after that. So far it's rained, and we've instructed our guys not to salt on Bluff side up to the overtop of Cherry anyway. We'd do the same thing down Cherry and see if we can blade it off.
Okay.
The only thing that would hurt us would be ice, very honestly. But it's a chance I'm willing to take because if not knowing when Biley's going to be in or rather open road. But we gained his permission to do that because technically by the contract, it's his road, his area to work. If we were to move his equipment, I think we might have some liability issues there. But he's emailed me, he said tomorrow he'll move the equipment. Thursday the road should be open.
If he moves the equipment, opens the road, I know there's some deep areas where he's gonna have to barricade, where there's some inlets. I would almost rather see him fill those with gravel. If it can be, just for safety reasons.
If you want to know my gut reaction, I think Mr. Reichert will be out here himself moving equipment because I don't think he's going to pay anybody to do it.
The concern is one, getting the road open so people can start using it. If I had $1 for every time I've heard, why is the equipment just sitting there, I'd be a rich man. Two, if he can't get, I don't think he's gonna be able to get a letter of credit. I mean, this is a serious situation. I think at this point, we just need to move forward with calling the bonds. And I hate to do that, but, I mean, the retainage is roughly a third of what's owed that we know about. My gut is there's probably far more than this that people just haven't jumped up and down and yelled and screamed about yet. So I would hate to take a stance of, let's see what happens, and then we get behind the 8 ball come spring, that we haven't started the performance bond call, we haven't started the payment bond call, and now we miss the building season because we're messing with all the bonding companies to get everything done to hit the next building season starting in April, May. Unless he can show us some effort on an ongoing basis, because as soon as it was above roughly 40 degrees, they could have been out there working, give or take.
Give or take a couple days. Gotta let the ground thaw out a little bit. But you're right.
But, I mean, and that's what the citizens are seeing, and frankly, it's not fair. I mean, every time we turn around, something on this project, jumps up and nips us. And I think that, now we need to start being proactive and try to take this back over to create the fastest time period to completion that we can, unless anybody disagrees with me. But I think that we definitely need to look at, from a time frame, what can we do to complete the project in the shortest period of time.
If you're calling bonds, having been through that process, that won't be a quick process.
Yeah, but as we're calling them, if he gets his letter of credit and he turns things around, that can stop. Trust me, the bond company isn't going to say, nope, we're going to pay you.
Oh, I know. I'm just telling you, if he never gets that line of credit though, and the bonding company ends up taking over the project, then it'll probably be a number of months.
Oh, absolutely.
Before that gets going again.
But if we don't start that process now and he doesn't get the letter of credit, then we got to start it later. At least if we start it now.
The time doesn't start till we notify the bonding company.
Correct.
You are absolutely correct.
Any other? Alderman Ressler?
You tell Mr. Reichert you're gonna talk to us about that tonight?
About calling bonds?
No, no, I mean about you.
About all this, oh yeah.
And,
That'd be at the meeting on Tuesday night, yes.
and you said he's out of town right now?
He was out of town today, from what I understand. Whether or not he's in town right now or not, I don't know.
So his business is on the line and he's not able to make an appearance here to explain himself. That's what I would have thought. He'd be a sense of urgency to come here to explain that, to save the call.
I doubt if he wants to appear before you since he got a project sitting out there. Personal opinion, but
Yeah. So he's been given a chance to come in if he wanted to.
I specifically didn't ask him to be here. I said it would be on the agenda.
Well, I
when
didn't,
was gonna talk.
I didn't mean that you had to ask him to come here. I just thought that I would have, if I were in this situation, if I were able to get something resurrected on this, I would have tried to come in and say, I got this in the works, just give me a little time, you know, and ask for some grace period, but I was just curious if you had talked to him about that.
Alderman Rouse?
Has he not done any work up there recently,
Not since right before Christmas.
when it got real cold?
Right. Right.
It's been right at a month that really nothing has been done. Or
Right, but I'm gonna give him some benefit of the doubt for about 3 of those weeks because it was stinking cold.
But since it's, I mean, it's, underground's not completely thawed out either probably, is
It's good.
planning on starting up?
But that depends.
I guess he's dodging the bullet.
I mean, the problem is if you're in arrears, I mean,
Right,
the
right.
more work you do, the more materials you need, and that's gonna be to me, that's gonna be the problem.
Alderman Stone?
I think what the council's dilemma is when do we direct to call the bonds and how much time do we want to afford Mr. Reichert before such action's taken? And I think the mayor has a good point that the longer we stall, the longer Cherry Street's gonna take to get done if Mr. Reichert is truly on the ropes. Or below the ropes, or.
And that's why I made the statement I made. Yeah, I think if we go ahead and have a motion second to start the process to call the bonds tonight, then it puts him in a situation to where he can still keep doing what he's doing, but it's gonna add a sense of urgency, huge urgency on his point to do whatever he can to have the project take back off again, and then we just remove the call of bonds. But if we do nothing, we're just delaying, and where's his sense of urgency if he thinks that we're gonna sit around and wait on things to happen just because the road's open and people are driving on it now? And what Ron said is absolutely correct. This will take months to handle all the paperwork and the legalities of calling the bond for the bond company to do their due diligence and to start the process. Then we could possibly have another bid process. And I'm concerned that we're even going to be able to get this done in the next building period regardless.